Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for attending this session. I know it's been a busy day and a half and probably seen plenty of good opportunities, and hopefully by the end of this you'll see Patronus as a great opportunity as well, and put some ticks in your books instead of question marks and crosses. Usual disclaimer, which you can read at your leisure. So Patronus is, a new old company brought about with the merger of Kin Mining. Kin Mining assets include close to 1 million ounces of gold in the prolific Leonora district in Western Australia, plus 700 square kilometres of granted mining leases and exploration tenements, which we believe still have a lot of prospectivity in terms of both gold and base metal discoveries. And PNX Metals, who have also existing gold and base metal resources in the NT, and a very exciting uranium project also in the NT with a historical resource. The PNX Metals projects are in the highly prospective Pine Creek region of the NT and come with 1,500 square kilometres of, again, highly prospective granted mining lease and exploration leases. What we want to create is a diversified exploration and development company, and we're off to a good start with already more than 1.4 million ounces of gold across the group, 16 million ounces of silver and nearly 200,000 tonnes of zinc. Also have a very strong balance sheet, which we believe will help us drive our both inorganic and organic growth aspirations. Been asked a few questions in terms of the rationale behind the merger with Kin and PNX. I guess it first off gives us diversity across our portfolio in tier 1 jurisdictions in Australia, both in the NT and WA. We feel with a diversification of assets and the actual financial firepower to explore these, we'll de-risk from a shareholder point of view. In terms of having multiple irons in the fire, all you need is one of these to be successful and off to the races. Significant balance sheet. Our market cap post-merger will probably be around 85 mil. We actually have $86 million in cash and Genesis shares in the bank, so extremely well funded. Gives us a lot of flexibility in terms of our exploration programs. We won't have to come back to the market for a long period of time to tap the market for additional funding. And also gives us flexibility in terms of pursuing inorganic growth opportunities. And in the current market, you could argue that there are rich pickings for companies with plenty of cash in the bank. We really like both the Western Australian assets but also the NT assets. We think there's some significant near-term exploration upside on these. Drilling in and around existing resources is always your best place to look for expanding your resource base. And we think we can add significant value to these resources over a relatively short time frame. Board and management have a proven track record with a number of accretive M&A transactions over the last few years. Got a good mix of skill sets on the board and the executive team across geology, geophysics, mining, finance and general corporate skill sets as well. I won't go into too much detail around the transaction summary, but the implementation scheme was approved as of Monday, and the actual the merger will be scheduled to be completed in a week's time on the 11th of September. Just your standard administrative type issues administrative process to resolve in terms of getting registers aligned. In terms of the merged group, there'll be approximately 1.6 billion shares on issue. Very little in terms of options and warrants and those sort of instruments. The share price, theoretical merge price, will be a little bit less than what's shown on that slide, but it'll be just over 5 cents. The market cap as of today will probably be closer to 85 mil, and as I said before, we've got $86 million in cash and liquid assets being Genesis shares in the bank, which are as good as cash. In terms of the shareholders, major shareholder, pretty familiar with people in the Australian resources sector at Delphi. They're a group out of Germany, certainly very supportive, very sticky shareholders. aligned with our objectives in terms of both organic and inorganic growth. Options that we're looking at, and corporates on there are St Barb's, who currently hold 12%. Again, pretty supportive shareholder. Touch briefly on the board. So as I said before, believe we've got the right skill set to advance both our current projects, but also to look at inorganic growth opportunities and add value to those, and ultimately add value to the company and shareholders. Significant working experience both in WA and NT, so it's not like we're stepping into a new jurisdiction with the NT acquisition. I've worked in the NT. Mike Green, who's our exploration manager in the NT, has got many years of experience working in the NT. Just a snapshot of where our projects are. So we've got two, in essence it's one that they're so close to each other. We've got two gold projects around the Leonora district in WA, a couple of hours north of Kalgoorlie, Bitchman Road. We've got three existing gold resources in the NT, which, as I said before, will be the focus of I guess sort of our next stage of exploration from a gold perspective. We've got existing base metal resources in the NT as well, Hayes Creek. We've got an emerging greenfields base metals VMS project that we're currently drill testing in WA, which could potentially be a game changer for the company. And we've got the uranium Thunderball asset, which was an old Thunderlara project, which has just come back into the PNX fold. As I said, assets are in WA and the NT, but they are within sort of a cluster. So from an exploration and logistics point of view, pretty well situated. We think both WA and NT are Tier 1 jurisdictions, both active mining and exploration locations. So you've got Red 5, Genesis, a few other players around the Leonora district active in terms of mining and on the M&A side of things. And over in the NT, there's a bunch of juniors as well as Agnico Eagle actively exploring in the area for a range of commodities, including uranium and gold. Our Cardinia project, the Mertondale project is pretty well ready to mine. It's on granted mining lease. We have mining approvals in place. We just finished tidying up an access agreement to get access to those. So that one is genuinely a project that could be turned on in short order. All right, gold. So as a group, we've got 1.4 million ounces of contained gold within our gold projects. Probably compares favourably to our previous speakers in Brightstar, and we think we've got significant upside still to come, both in the WA gold projects, but also the NT gold projects. So I'll just touch on each of our projects briefly, give you a flavour of what we're up to. So Leonora, just shy of 1 million ounces of gold. As I said before, this really is quite a hot area at this point in time. We have already completed one transaction on some gold ounces in the Leonora district. We didn't offer up the Mertondale or Cardinia ounces. We thought there was some further work to add value to those before we decide what we want to do with these particular projects. Close to existing infrastructure, road access and power, and Leonora's close by. Close to a number of potential processing options. Pretty standard from historical test work, pretty standard flow sheet, and the gold from the work we've done can be processed via standard CIL methodologies. Mertondale, there is historical production there, pretty high grade. Our main resource is still lower grade, but still pretty respectable grade for open pit type mineralisation. So we've got 460,000 ounces in resources at Mertondale. There's been limited exploration completed in the last 10 years. Kin's focus was on getting this project up into development. The wheels fell off, and fair to say it's been been in the doghouse for the last few years. There is an approved mining proposal in place at Mertondale, and we've just finished an infill drilling campaign, and we'll come out with a MRE update towards the back end of this year, and potentially we'll look at wrapping a mining study or scoping study around that. So, the East Cardinia, again, we've got roughly 500,000 ounces of gold down at East Cardinia, but we've got a bit more work to do around there in terms of the gold upside and VMS potential. Skip through that, running a bit short on time. Pine Creek, so I guess the PNX's strategy, that they had a couple of VMS polymetallic projects, and they went down the development pipe or looked at developing these projects. Our view of the world is that there's, from a resource base, a little bit short on where it actually needs to be to put forward a sort of viable mining plan on those. But as a result, certainly the exploration, both VMS, base metal and gold exploration, has been seriously underdone over the last 10 years, and we see some significant upside both regionally and extending existing resources on the Pine Creek gold projects. Flick through these. This presentation is obviously available on the website if you want to take more time to read it. Base metals, as I said, we've got an emerging greenfields base metal discovery in Laverton in WA. It's just we are testing that now. Just a matter of seeing how big or small this particular opportunity is. And then there's an existing base metal resource in the NT with significant upside potential on that project as well. Certainly, in terms of the quality of the base metal projects in NT, they're right up there in terms of grades, good zinc grades, good silver grades, and a bit of a kicker on gold grades. But as I said before, our view of the world is we need to build a larger resource base, both on these and the gold projects. So I guess the name of the game in the NT is building a larger resource base on both the gold and base metals, and that'll give us some more options on what we do with these projects going forward. I'll flick through these, and I guess in terms of the work programs in the NT, our priority between now and the end of the year, very much focusing on the uranium asset within the portfolio. This was previously owned by Thunderlara. We did quite a lot of work on this, including a non-JORC compliant or non-2012 compliant resource. It was about the time when Fukushima incident happened, and obviously the uranium market was on the nose. But now we're in a completely different world. So we've got, I guess, a couple of fronts to pursue on this. We've got some pretty exciting historical rock chip numbers, up to 17%, which is extremely high grade. So the plan on this one is to complete some mapping, further rock chip sampling, plus we'll drill a significant step-out hole at Thunderball, looking to really sort of open this up, and we'll form a view by the end of the year on where this project sits within the portfolio and what we want to do with it. Just a snapshot of upcoming work programs. So we have been working. We've just kept the news flow quiet with the merger going on. We've don't want to spook the regulators, etc. But rest assured, we are drilling in WA as we speak, and we'll plan to start drilling campaigns focusing on the uranium first and the NT later this year. So there's just a snapshot of the key takeaways. Looks like I'm out of time, so if you've got any questions, please come to the booth, and we'll be around for another hour or so, and feel free to ask any questions then. Thank you.